so appreciate you tuning in today to the podcast that empowers women for financial independence and business success. And if you're brand new here, then I want to say welcome. I appreciate you joining in. This week's hot question from one of our select community ladies, her name is Lindy, asks this question. Amanda, at what point would you decide to just quit your job? My current job drains my soul and I feel that at least it's money, which is the only reason I'm staying. I need to bite the bullet and I want to quit. I have a little bit of money saved, about a month's rent and living. Is it irresponsible to hope that something will come along? What a fabulous question. And I am going to say, before you take action, you definitely want to listen in. The Gday Gorgeous podcast is where you're going to get real, raw and relatable stories and answers and proven ideas and formulas that will help you overcome your frustrations and live a life that you truly love every single day, no matter who you are or your background. I'm Amanda Jane Clarkson. I am a best-selling author. I'm an inspirational speaker, an entrepreneur, a certified DiMartini method facilitator, and a world-leading financial independence and business mastery coach for women who would love to release the multimillionaires within. If that sounds like you, then you are on the right podcast. To find out how I can help you gain clarity, inspiration and certainty to design and actually live your dream life, please visit my website www.gdaygorgeous.com or click in the link below in the show notes. And of course, be sure to have your companion journal, here's mine right here, and a nice cup of tea ready for top inspiration and many notes today. Let's jump in to today's hot question. When is it a good time to quit your job, career or business? Let's jump in. Today we have a fabulous podcast ready. Today was supposed to be a podcast about when is a great time to quit your job if it's robbing your soul. But as luck would have it, we are getting some work done on our boat. So what that means is sometimes you cannot control the circumstances in day-to-day life. I will talk about it for a brief moment, and if the noise downstairs, we have it's called a bow thruster problem. Sounds interesting, doesn't it? A thruster problem. Where we don't have control over maneuvering the boat, which makes it quite stressful and downright dangerous when you're trying to park in the wind like we were yesterday. It was very hairy getting into this marina. Where am I? I'm in Bundaberg right now. And there's a gentleman on his hands and knees downstairs in the spare room working on the thruster that's underneath the front of the boat, which is the bow of the boat. And the poor bugger down there, it's hot down there, he's probably sweating and drilling a new hole or creating a new hole to access the part that he needs to. So if it becomes too noisy, this will not be the podcast that I'd hoped it would be. It'll have to be Monday, but let's just give it 5 minutes and just see what happens. So let's just see what we've got here. Ladies, hope you've got your cup of tea. You're going to need it. I'm going to need it. It's stressful. And your journal, because this podcast, which is based around this story, I'm going to read the story out from Lindy. I don't know which one of you sent this in. Hopefully you're on this call today. And here's what she says. Amanda, at what point would you decide to just quit your job? My current job drains my soul, but I feel at least it's money, and that is the only reason I stay there. I feel that I need to bite the bullet and quit. I have a little bit of money in savings, about a month's worth for rent and living. Is it irresponsible to hope that something else will come along? Now, that is a fantastic question, a question that I get asked so many times. But here's what I would say, and I don't know if you're on this call, I hope you are, ladies, that before you quit, before you throw in the towel and take yourself to that next job, there's a number of things that I would share with you that I wish I'd have known, because some of you know I've had 33 different jobs. And I always thought that the job was the problem. I never once stopped to think about, wow, is it me? Is it me going to the next job, taking my attitude, taking my issues, taking my same thought process to job after job after job? Whereas now, from the 22, 23 years I've had of personal development and understanding that the job I was in at the time was perfect, and helping me realize what I wanted to have in life, helping me become the person I needed to be to have the life I wanted, was perfect in that time and in that space. And I just needed to look at it another way. So what I'm going to do today, this is definitely going to be maybe a 2-part series on going through the Live Now formula to help you realize where you are in life, help you make better decisions, I think, make more empowered decisions based on intelligence, not emotions that are running your life, and help you decide or help you realize that where you are right now is serving you and is perfect right now. So give me a sign, give me a thumbs up if this is a subject that is of interest to you, because so many people wonder if they should have a job, get into a career, which is a long-term job. Some people might think, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, like a teacher role, an educator role, an accountancy, a law degree, something like that, or more of an entrepreneurial role, moving into your own business, and gaining financial independence, financial freedom, and releasing the millionairess within. Give me a sign or a love heart, ladies, if you would love to, in time, release that millionairess that sits within, or should I say multimillionairess. I think I'm in the right place speaking to you ladies here today, sharing this. So if we were looking at this question, here comes a few love hearts. I'll have a sip of my tea while I'm waiting for the love hearts to come through. Releasing the multi-millionairess within. Doesn't that have a beautiful ring to it? If you're listening on the outside and this is a new podcast for you, welcome. And you are in the right place at the right time if you have a desire to release the multimillionairess within you as well. Let me have a sip. All right, because here we go. Here, look at all these love hearts. You ladies know that I am not backwards in coming forwards, talking about money, talking about not only financial security, but financial independence, and then after that, financial freedom. And there is an absolute distinction and a difference. However, today is not about that. Today is about deciding when the perfect time is for you to quit the role that you're playing in a job, career, or your business. So looking at the Live Now formula, so many love hearts. Right back at you, girls. I'm right with you. Looking at the Live Now formula, and we look at the words L for love and let go. Here's the truth that I have learned for many, many years. If I do not learn to love and appreciate what I currently have in my job, in my career, I certainly won't have more to love and appreciate in the future. And there is a science and a mathematical equation behind all this. It's not just an opinion. It's stuff I wish I'd have known many, many years ago, which probably would have helped me not have the 33 jobs that I had. Blaming every job, blaming everyone instead of understanding more about myself. And so here's what I would ask you to do from that. And this is what I went through, and this really helped me dissolve all the anxiety that was going on inside of me. I was very clouded in my thinking, trying to work out what I wanted, but this really helped me to write down all of the ways. Now, you're not going to do it on this call, on this podcast here today, but you can do it afterwards. It's definitely an exercise that I would absolutely recommend to anyone, to write down all the ways and the benefits that your current job or your current career is helping you fulfill your highest 3 values. Now, I just want to make a distinction here, and this is what I used to get confused about, and so many people that I mentor and coach get confused about. A value is not a feeling or emotion. For instance, people say, oh, my values are kindness, honesty, loyalty, being an upstanding citizen. That is not a value. That is an external value or a society's or a value of society or an environmental value. I'm talking about an intrinsic internal value. For instance, one of your highest values might be spending time with my children. A highest value for me was learning how to become financially independent and financially free. That was a high value for me. Another value that might be on your list, and I'm just giving you some ideas, is to be an educator where you share your values, you share your gifts and talents with other people who might be interested in what you know. You might have a value to be a one of the world's best singers, or to join a band, or to be a painter, or something that you're naturally drawn to, that when you wake up of a morning you just can't wait to start doing that thing or being that person. No one has to remind you or tap you on the shoulder or whip you into gear. It's something that comes from within. It is not a feeling or emotion, and this is super important. So how does your current job or your career help you fulfill your highest values? And I'll give you an example. When I became a personal trainer many years ago, we had to sit and study so many things that I was frightened that I would fail at, like anatomy and physiology, because I had failed every single subject at school. And I wanted to become a personal trainer because it was matching my highest values. So my 3 highest values are my health and well-being. Back in those days, I was determined to become a multimillionairess. I wanted to become financially independent and financially free. And the 3rd on my highest values was my freedom to live the life that I wanted to live, which I'm doing now. And so they were my highest 3 values. But when I was studying to become a personal trainer, I had a deep fear of failing all of my exams, especially when it came to anatomy and physiology, because I needed to know everything about the body. I needed to know everything about nutrition, weight training, to be able to serve people and help them get what they wanted from my service. And so what I learned to do is link studying and becoming amazing at my craft to my highest values. So those 3 values that I had, I was determined to study, because if I passed all of my exams, if I became the very best that I could be in my industry, and I was up there in the top 2% of personal trainers at that time, then I would be living my values. I would be on my way to becoming financially free. I would be surrounded by health and fitness all day long, which is what I love to do, and helping other people gain health and fitness. And I would be able to live life on my own terms. And so what I did, I linked the study of that to my outcome. And lo and behold, even though I'd failed everything to do with anatomy and physiology at school, I actually got distinctions in all of my exams for that time as a personal trainer, because I wanted the outcome that bad. Now, if you can do that for yourself and link whatever job or career you're in right now to your highest 3 values and connect how they are helping you or serving you, that dissolves the anxiety that you may be feeling around your job now. Instead of looking on the outside, blaming other people, or feeling that the world owes you something, and that this is robbing your soul, see how it's fulfilling your soul. See how it's on the way, not in the way. Now, you ladies know I talk about this all of the time. And so where you're in your job or career right now, if you want to get to that next level, how are you being on the way, not in the way? Because until you learn to let go of the emotional baggage that you feel is holding you back now, you won't be able to step forward into that new space that you want to get into to live your dreams. Now, I hope that makes sense. Give me a sign of some sort if something just clicked for you and you're starting to see that, wow, it's not external things going on. It's internal things that I can control, that I can change to start to see a different way, a different point of view is what I'm sharing with you. And oh my God, 33 freaking jobs. I wish I'd have known. And, I went on to be one of the leading personal trainers here on the Gold Coast in Australia, where I ended up teaching business skills to many other personal trainers. And it blew my mind that I thought that I was told at school I was dumb and that I would amount to nothing. And to see that just through a change of mind, a change of perception, that I could be the leader in my field. And I believe, and I'm not saying that to brag, I'm sharing with you what's absolutely possible for someone. I didn't believe in myself back then. I didn't think I had it in me to become that person that I truly wanted to be. And that is what all it is. It's a perception of where you are to where you want to get to. So that's what I would say. And I would start writing that list, and until you feel gratitude for the current job or the career that you're in right now, and you go, wow, I'm in the right place at the right time, which is helping me move forward into the life that I want. Now, the second letter in the word live now, and we're only going to get to 2 or 3 of these today. I will not have time to get through the whole 7 because there's 7 letters in live now, but next week I'll go to part 2. But I really want to delve deep, and I'm going to ask you some questions, and I want to welcome, I've got a heap more of you on the call today. Welcome, beautiful butterflies in my community. And if you're new to this podcast, welcome. This podcast is about empowering you and unleashing or releasing the multimillionaires within, so that you can live the life that you dream of, become financially independent to get the life that you want. So moving into the second letter, which is I, which I say imagination. Imagine what you want and why you want it. If this is a new job, a career, or even a business, what would you love to do for the rest of your life? I have young Kimmy Young on the call right now, and I know what Kimmy wants to do. She wants to be a dancer on Broadway. She's been there, but I know that's what she lives for. And to then help other women live their dreams, become dancers, world-class dancers, and perform on the stage they want to perform on. So what is it that you would love to do for the very rest of your life? What turns you on? Now, I'm going to give you a couple of ideas to write these down in your journal, ladies, or if you're listening to this and you're new, write them down, because there's something to think about when you go to bed tonight. I want you to run these questions through your mind and know what you want before you jump off the ledge and quit your job. I would say do this before you quit your job, because it'll bring your soul, it'll bring your mind back to peace. And so you can think more clearly with clarity and certainty before you throw in the towel. So what do you want? Do you want status? Do you want to be known? Do you want to be famous? Do you want more certainty in your life? Just write these words down, ladies. Do you want financial security, or financial independence, or financial freedom? They are 3 different things. And you need to know the dollar sign. When I was very, very young, I knew I wanted to be a multimillionaire. These days, being a millionaire is not going to be enough. You need to be a multimillionairess. I love the sound of that, because that is going to give you your freedom. It's going to buy you time, and it is going to give you the lifestyle that you dream of. But what does that number look like for you? Okay, you need to know these numbers. Are you searching for job security? And that might be a long-term career. There is no right or wrong. It's just what is right for you. Depending on your personality, depending on what you would love to achieve in your life, there is no right or wrong. There is what works for you. Some people want to get into a role, be an intrapreneur, like my sister is, for instance, and live their values through another person's business. Or you may go, I would just love to do a law degree and fit within a firm that match my values and just do what I love to do every day, serving people for the next 20, 30 years. That is job security. Some of you may love that, and that's totally fine. Others in listening to this podcast might be searching for financial benefits of having a certain job or a career. You won't get it in business, but you will in a job and a career. You might be going, well, I just want to make sure I get my holiday pay. I want to get all my benefits, my healthcare benefits. Some of you might like familiarity And you might want to wake up every day going, I just want to know what I'm doing each and every day. I want to be given a list of tasks and I want to be able to tick them off, and that sits with me, because my highest values are being able to go home at a certain time each day, forgetting about my job, forgetting about my career, and spending time with my children, because that is high on your values. Or having time to work out and do what I love to do, or dance my night away, or sing, or do lessons, learn to play the guitar or play the piano. That might be highest on your values, and the job or career is serving you. See how it's on the way, not in the way. So you can, knock off at a certain time and get into what you want to do. Some of you, like myself, I love variety. I love uncertainty. I love an adventure. And I think that's probably why I was driven to have 33 different jobs and start 14 different businesses. Is that you? Do you love to wake up and go, wow, what's new today? What's happening? What can I create? This is about getting to know yourself and not listening to what others think you should do or what's right for you, because only you know what's right for you. What about this? Are you looking or searching for love and connection? A job or a career that fulfills love and connection for you. For instance, I will chat about my sister Carmel, who I know is on this podcast. She is brilliant in service, connection, love, and she gets her fulfillment, her values met, which is her own freedom, living life on her own terms, being able to work from home, being able to do her job from anywhere in the world, which she can. I know that's high on her values, but she also loves being, she's a people person and a connection person. So this career or this job that she's in, she's an entrepreneur, fulfills her values. So ask yourself, do I love that, or am I a loner? There's another lady that works in my company. Her name's Genta. She's been with me for 14 years. She doesn't want to speak to anyone. Her highest values are being left alone, sort of being by herself. She gets her energy from being away from people, whereas I get my energy from being with people. No right or wrong. Are you looking for contribution, service to others? That's where I get my fulfillment. The more people that I can get in front of and share the knowledge that I have, the education, like passing the torch on, is my highest value, one of my highest values. That's what fulfills me. It fills my cup, being in front of a group like yourself, having people learn from all of the years that I have learnt, and become financially and emotionally and mentally empowered. I love sharing my knowledge. That's what fills my cup. So some of you might want to become influencers, be influential in your job, your career, your family, your community on a global scale. Is that you? And some of you might go, oh, no, I just want to be behind closed doors and just be with my family, do my thing, share my music, share my drawings, share my talents in a silent way. A silent but very profound way. Some of you might be, writers, write novels, things like that. You don't need to be at the forefront and on stage, but your work and your talents and your gifts are still shared into the world in other ways. So give me a little thumbs up or a love heart if this is gelling with you and you're starting to see the benefits of asking these questions before you throw in the towel of what you're doing and jump to the next thing, the next job, the next career, the next business. Learn from look at all these love hearts. Learn from my mistakes, ladies. But they're not really mistakes, are they? And would you love to become a leader in your own life? Now, a leader in your family environment. It could be in your business environment or your workplace. It could be in your community, like your church group environment. It could be in a community way of serving other people, and it could be on a global scale, a country scale, whatever's right for you. And then the next step on that, we're still on I for imagination. I love it because, imagination is the gateway that turns the impossible to possible. And so I just love to open up your minds, open up your hearts, and go, wow, everything and anything is possible. Just like it was for me becoming a personal trainer. I wanted to be a leader. I wanted to be up there with the best of the best and become an educator in that field for the Australian Institute of Fitness, which I became. And I never thought that that could be possible. And that's just one of the many businesses that I've had. Then I would write out 100 reasons why you would really love to make a change. Now, if you still say, my heart is just not in this job. I just know I'm robbing my employer. I'm robbing myself of being everything that I can be. Okay, so here's what I would do about that. And I've had many jobs that I've just gone, I cannot face another day. Of the 33 jobs, there are many of those jobs I knew I was not only robbing my soul, I was robbing my employer. Now, some people in a job or career don't think of the employer, they think of themselves. But I've been on both ends of the spectrum. I've had the 33 jobs in the 14 different businesses, and I know what it's like to be the employer, and I know what it's like to be the employee. So think about it, the employer who's put his guts and his nuts on the line, so to speak, to give you an opportunity to have a job or a career. They have a lot more at stake than you as an employee. That's what I would say, because I know what it feels like. So if you are the employee, write down at least 100 reasons why you want to make this change. 100 reasons why you want to quit that job to find the next job or the career. Now, I would list those benefits or the reasons why in each of the 7 areas of life, because it spills over. Now, those 7 areas that I talk about, how is leaving this current job, leaving your current career or business going to help you in your love life, in your health and well-being, relationships with other people and your family, money situation, the next job or vocation that you choose to take on, how's it going to serve you, and your happiness and your personal growth. That is an amazing exercise to go through. I've done it on myself many times, and it's really helped me clarify the reason why I'm going to leave this behind and move on to the next thing. I would say to do that exercise, because you might realize that, actually, I am in the right job. I am in the right career. I didn't see before how it was on the way, not in the way, and it's serving me and my highest 3 values beautifully. Maybe it's not the job or the career that is the problem. It was just the way I was looking at it. Does that make sense? And this is why, this Lindy said, I've only got a month's worth of money in the bank. So that instantly tells me that Lindy's highest value is not money or financial independence. And so if you want to have financial independence as one of your top 3 values, there's only 2 ways you can do it. You can change your values to meet your goals, or change your goals to meet your values. It's as simple as that. And that's a whole podcast on its own, which I would be delighted to talk about if you would love to release the multimillionaires within. But for some of you, you might say, well, my partner takes care of the finances. I'm interested in other things. It's just that you need to know this before you quit on the thing that you're already doing, because you won't feel any better. That's what I worked out about myself. Those 33 jobs that I kept quitting on and changing, I didn't actually feel any better. I didn't fulfill myself or fulfill my cup. I was constantly angry. I was constantly frustrated. I was constantly feeling unfulfilled. I was cloudy in the mind. I had no certainty. I would feel, really anxious at times, because I didn't know this stuff. I didn't know how to question myself to get the clarity. So I'll repeat that: 100 reasons why you want to make the change and quit on that job or career, and how it would affect the 7 areas of your life. And the last thing that I would ask of this second letter under the word imagine what is possible for you and your future. this job or career that you really don't love, and you're seeing that it's robbing your soul. This was Lindy's question. Remember, this whole podcast is based on the question we got from one of you in this community. Before you quit, and you haven't got enough money in the bank, you've already told me that, the job is robbing your soul, I want you now to think about and write down 50 drawbacks of quitting on this job. Because life has two sides. For every benefit, there's a drawback. For every drawback, there's a benefit. It is the law of the universe. Okay, so you've picked out the 100 reasons why you would leave, but what are the 50 to 100 reasons that would be a drawback if you threw in the towel? You quit on that job. For example, you've only got 1 month's worth of money in the bank. Now, a drawback to quit the current job or career would be the stress on yourself, your family, of not having enough money. 1 month's money will feel like one day. It'll feel like less than a week. You will get to the end of that month and you will have less money, because you're then hoping that something else will come along, but until you change the thinking process, the attitude, you won't see opportunity, and opportunity will not come your way because you're taking yourself to that next job. Does that make sense? Give me a thumbs up or a love heart. How do you do a love heart? Love heart. If this is making sense. I know I'm speaking 100 miles an hour, but I love to do that. So much to share, and it's so good to see so many of you on this podcast. Thank you for joining me. You know, I just want to give you the most value for being on here and sharing all this. What would be the drawbacks of throwing in the towel? It has to equal out the benefits. Otherwise, you will be feeling anxious and stressed out, depressed even, worrying that you've made the wrong or the right decision. You won't know until you balance it out and you get clear before you take the action. I think it's very, very important to do that. I wish I'd have known how to do that. Now, I'm going to cover one more letter in the word live now, and that's the letter V. And then the second part of this podcast, which I'll be doing probably Tuesday of next week, is I'm going to cover the rest of the letters, because I've delved deep today, getting you to write down lots of things, questions to ask yourself. And it doesn't even matter if you're watching or listening to this podcast. Thank you for being here. If you're in a job, career, or business right now, and you may not have even thought about quitting, these exercises will help you even love what you're doing more, help you appreciate where you are right now even more, and help you open up the gateway for new ideas, new opportunities, and more people to come into your life to elevate your current job, career, or business to that next level, and hopefully financially as well. So the third letter in the word live is V. If you still have made a decision that this current job, career, or business is not for you, that's okay. But what does it look like? We need to visualize now what the next job, career, or business is going to be for you. If you've only got, 1 month's worth of money in the bank, your soul is feeling empty, you need to start thinking about, well, what else can I see myself doing? So the first step is, what do you see yourself doing? Write these words down: doing, achieving, becoming, and known for. That's what I would be thinking about if I was ready to make that move. I've done the benefits and the drawbacks, and I'm still deciding to move on. It's time to move on, pack the bags and move on, baby. Move out of this town. But what do you see yourself doing, achieving, becoming, and known for? Now, this is important to think in terms of your values and service. Do not think of a job. You don't want to be going, I want a job. You do not want to be thinking of that. You want to be thinking of, well, what would I love to do? What can I see myself doing that would help me live my top 3 values, and being of service to other people? It is vitally important to understand that You'll only ever get very far in life if you think in terms of serving other people, not just yourself. Narcissistic. You don't want to be narcissistic or altruistic. You want to be middle of the road and thinking service, where your values match other people or help other people achieve their values. Kind of like in the personal training story that I gave you. Becoming a personal trainer matched my 3 values, but I also was able to serve hundreds and hundreds of other women and men out there to help them achieve the health and fitness and well-being in their life. You can see how it all came together. What would that look like for you? That is the first thing that I would ask under the word V for visualize the new job, career, or business. Now, I'm going to ask you just a few more questions, and this will wrap up today's podcast, but this is vital. Under the word visualize, here's what I want you to have a mental picture of, and then put it on your digital vision board, or if you're new to this podcast, cut out pictures, stick them on the wall, because this is the stuff that changes where you are now to where you want to get to. And this is what I've done forever, for the last maybe 25 years, and it's helped me achieve the life I have now. The questions are, write them down quickly. Where would you live if you changed jobs, career, business, served other people, met your highest values? Where would you live? So what town, what city, what country would you love to live in? What car would you drive, if any? Where would you go? Where are the places that you would go if you were living that life? You got all those values met. Who would you spend some time with? Or who would you love spending the majority of your time with? Now that could be your children, your family, friends. It could be people in a career, like if you're into politics, for instance, you'd gather around the people that you really love to interact with, because remember, birds of a feather flock together. It is true. Or if you're a musician or a dancer, like in Kimmy Young's instance, you would want to flock and hang around people that are going places in that same space as you. Who would you love to spend time with? This is a great question. Who would want to spend time with you? When you got to that next level of who you wanted to become, who would want to spend time with you? Probably not the same people that you're hanging out with now, maybe, but maybe not some of them. Who would be attracted to you? That's a very good question. Now, another 3 or 4 questions. Give me a thumbs up if you're writing this down. I'll have a sip of my tea here. It's actually hot water. Next question. How would you dress? Now, if you want to be on the world stage, you want to be an influencer, you want to be at a certain level in your career, a leader, not a follower, 2 distinct different people, to get the financial independence and freedom that you may be looking for if you want to release the millionaires within or the multimillionaires within. How would you dress? It matters. So now some people are going to get the shits with this and go, it shouldn't be about how I look, how I dress. Well, this is another podcast. I'm sorry, but it is. Because that's how we judge people. In the first 3 to 4 seconds, we judge people on an appearance. It is just a fact. So if you want to be that influencer in a specific job or career, how would you dress? How would you show up to the world? If you want to get the outcome, remember, if you want your values matched, how would you socialize? What circles would you love to move in? It matters. What would be your new language? Someone's got an angry face going on. I love it. I love it. I love it when I press the button. I'm sorry, but it's the truth. You know, and that is going to be a whole nother podcast for any woman who wants to release the multimillionaires within. I'm going to be doing a whole podcast on that, because how you show up absolutely matters, and it's directly related to your financial outcome. It is. And I'm going to explain it in a way that I'm not saying that you have to be a certain look, but it still matters how you show up into the world. But we'll get to that another time. What would be your new language? Now, if you want to elevate yourself, your life, your influence, job, career, or business, what would be the language that matches that? And how then would all these things impact your family, impact you as a person, and impact others? Please write that down. How would all this impact you, your family, and others that you serve in and around you, your community and your environment? And on those last few questions, ladies, I am going to say that is all I am going to cover on today's podcast, because it's been going for 45 minutes. And on Tuesday, I want to jump into the other 4 letters in the words live now, which is empower, never quit, opportunity, and willingness to be a winner. And there's a lot I want to go through on that, because this is a thing that, people talk about getting a new job and a new career, but most people think about the job or the career, but they don't look within and ask these questions that will absolutely determine and help you decide on taking the right actions for you to become fulfilled. Because this is what happens. Most people move through life, job after job after job or career, and wonder why they never feel fulfilled. They are waking up every day, just going to an extra job, thinking that the money or the status is going to be the answer, but it's not. The money or the status will not be the determining factor for inner peace, inner fulfillment. There is a whole lot more that determines that, not just money and not just status. And I really want to delve into that properly. But I've given you so many questions today, so much food for thought. Give me a sign, ladies, if you felt that this was a podcast that has brought massive value and really helped you ask better questions of yourself before you make the moves into something that could be the biggest freaking mistake of your life. Because I've been there so many times. Good. And I would love, especially for my ladies here in my community, in my select community, leave me a question, leave me a comment. And, some of you might not like what I'm saying here, might get a little bit angry at Amanda Jane, and I'm cool with that, because I'm used to that, because I will say, as a mentor and a coach, and on this podcast, I will absolutely say things that others will not, because I'm not really concerned with what people think about me. I'm more concerned of giving you value, giving you the truth, raw and real stories based on experience and my own journey and the education that I've had. So ladies, I hope you enjoyed this podcast, and I am interested to hear your thoughts, questions based on what we covered, ready for part 2, which I'm going to be bringing to you on Tuesday. Now, Tuesday, I will not be sitting in this marina. I will be in Mooloolaba on the beautiful sunny coast. So ladies, I hope you enjoyed this podcast. Leave me a comment and a question, and I am going to sign off now. Mwah, much love. All right, my beautiful ladies, I am going to sign off. Big cyber hugs. Hope you enjoyed today. Don't forget to leave a comment, your thoughts. If it riled your feathers, if it ruffled your butterfly wings, let me know. If it soothed your butterfly wings, let me know. It is all perfect. Mwah. Love, 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 love you. Desley says, as long as it's not Matt's thruster. That is too funny. I freaking love it. No, it's not Matt's thruster, doll. It's just the boat thruster. I've gone all red, see? Whoo. I need a drink. Too fun. Too funny. I nearly swore then. Jesus. I better get off. Okay, gorgeous people, that about wraps up today's podcast. I only got through 3 of the letters in the formula Live Now. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's Gday Gorgeous podcast that empowers women for life, financial independence, and business mastery. If you loved this episode and you got fabulous value from it, I would be super grateful if you just take 30 seconds, leave me a review, and pay this forward by sharing the podcast with other people you know would greatly benefit from the gems that I share with you from my heart. I would so appreciate that. Become the butterfly effect and help others, as I would love to help and serve you. Lastly, to find out more about my G'day Gorgeous select coaching for women who would love to release the multimillionaires within, visit my website gdaygorgeous.com, and you can see there all the different stories, my books, everything there if you would love to find out more. In the meantime, be bold, be courageous, and be even more fabulous. I look forward to seeing you next week for more inspiration. Bye for now.